Bodybuilding and Nutrition Q&A, and today we're going to talk about multi-fiber training. You may be asking yourself, what the hell is multi-fiber training? But to understand the concept, we have first to understand the concept of muscle fibers and their types. So basically, there are two types of muscle fibers. We have slow twitching fibers and fast twitching fibers. Let's call slow twitching fibers type 1 and fast twitching fibers type 2. Also, type 2 fibers can be broken down into two subgroups called oxidative and glycolic. So first of all, type 1 fibers. They are the kind of fibers you would use for aerobic exercises. Why? It's because they have a slow contraction time, a small amount of recruitment of fibers, and more importantly, they have the best resistance to fatigue. So that's why you see that most marathon runners are very thin, very skinny, though they run a lot and use a lot of their muscles. Those muscle fibers are not fibers that you can mostly see, and they're mostly used for just aerobic exercise, so they don't develop as much as type 2 fibers. And since they are aerobic fibers, they tend to require less sugar in the beginning of the exercise. So those are the kind of fibers that are going to use mostly fat in the future when you're starting to run out of glycogen in your blood. Type 2 fibers, the fast twitching ones, are the ones that we have to use for strength because they have a high recruitment of fibers. Now, type 2A, let's say the oxidative ones, have a lesser recruitment of fibers, but it's pretty high though, and it also consumes a lot of energy, but not as much as the type 2B. I mean the glycolic ones. The glycolic ones are the ones that you're going to recruit the most when you have to do a 1 rep max, when you have to push or pull a big amount of weight. Those are the ones that you actually have to recruit when you are doing strength training. The good side, those are the fibers that are going to respond quickly when you need to move fast or when you need to perform a quick exercise because they are anaerobic. They need mostly sugar to just move, but they have lesser resistance. The oxidative ones have a little bit of more resistance, but the super fast switching ones, the glycolic ones, they're going to resist very, very short periods of times. Those are the ones that you're gonna have to use when you have to do just a couple of reps. So now you kind of have an idea of what the muscle fibers are, and you kind of have to understand that some types of fibers are more beneficial to some types of athletes, such as runners or long distance runners, and maybe the fast twitching ones are more useful for another kind of athletes that have to move faster or just push or pull weights. And for example, the sprinters, have you ever seen the difference in the body of a person that runs long distances and short distances? Let me put a couple pictures of what sprinters look like and what long distance runners look like. Kind of see the difference? See the difference in volume? Sprinters are going to have a much bigger volume of their muscles because they work the fast twitching ones, whereas the long distance runners work out the slow twitching ones. They're going to have a lot of endurance, but they're not going to get as big as you want. So now we can jump into the topic. What is multi-fiber training? Multi-fiber training is a very unconventional way of training. It was promoted a long time ago by an FBB pro called Tony Gutierrez, who basically said that you have to work all your muscle fibers and all the types of them. Now, here's a big warning to all of you guys. If you're beginners, please don't try this. I mean, multi-fiber training is for advanced or experts. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. If you're a very beginner at doing some bodybuilding, weightlifting, please stay out of it because it is very, very prone to injuries if you don't know how to do it and if you don't have a proper technique. And also your body has to be used to withstanding the weights and the movement and the muscle fibers breaking, and if you are not used to that, you're very, very, very prone to injury. So how does it work? And the principle is very, very simple. When you work a whole range of reps, you activate and you engage different types of muscle fibers. So when you go from, let's say, 40 to 50 or to 60 reps, you're going to work the type 1 fibers. When you go from, let's say, 15 to 30 reps, you're going to engage the type 2 oxidative muscle fibers. And when you go from, let's say, 1 to 10 tops, you're going to engage mostly of your glycolic ones, the type 2 glycolic ones. So those are the fastest switching ones. So enough talking, let's put an example. Let's say that you're gonna have to work out legs. And the legs are a very, very special part of your body because they're gonna have the 3 types of the muscle fibers. And it's a perfect way to understand, to start understanding how multi-fiber training works. So let's say that you begin with leg extensions. You can begin with a very low weight and start with like 50 to 60 reps. Then add just 10 pounds and then go again, let's say 50 reps. Then add some 10, 20 pounds, go for 30 reps. Then add 10 more, go for 30 reps. Then add 10 to 20 more, go for 10, 15 reps. Then again, add more and go for 10, then 8, then 6. You will end up doing between like 7 to 10 sets. But trust me, you will engage every single fiber type in your quads. And number 1, that's gonna leave you very tired. Number 2, that's gonna give you the biggest pump you can possibly have. And trust me, you won't be able to walk. The first weeks that you start implementing multi-fiber training, you won't be able to move because it's really, really harsh. And this is why I tell you not to do this if you are a beginner. Now the same thing can be applied for squats, hack squats, calf raises, leg press, whatever, you name it. Now there's something that you have to know. The only way to know the ratio of muscle fiber types in your different parts of your body is to do a biopsy. There's no other way. And the only other way to do it is by trying these kind of exercises by yourself. But then again, it's dangerous. There are some muscle groups that are more prone to have all the types, and you will be able to do these kind of exercises with no problem. Whereas other muscles, especially the smaller ones, are going to mostly concentrate type 2 fibers. And if you start doing exercises that target type 1 fibers, then you're gonna get hurt. Multi-fiber training is great for large muscle groups. Then again, the first thing I tried is the legs because they're the biggest muscle group you can possibly have. Then I followed with back and I got really, really amazing results. Then again, you have to know your body. I continue that kind of exercise, for example, with chest. I was supersetting chest with very high reps and it worked for me. But doesn't mean that's gonna work for you. The difference you have to notice, and the key to notice the difference in your body and see which works for what, is pain on pumps. If you feel that you're having a pump and it burns and you can't stand it anymore, then the exercise is working. Then whatever you're doing it well. And the next day you're gonna feel sore and you won't be able to move, but that's okay, it's normal. Now, if you feel pain during the exercise, there's a big difference between having a burn and pain. If you feel pain, especially sharp pain, just stop. Stop. Whatever you're doing, stop, because it's probably not working. If you're forcing a body part with, it doesn't matter if it's high reps or very low reps, if you're forcing it and it starts hurting, then you're not doing anything good. You're going backwards. So stop. Sometimes less is more. And you want to know how I learned this? I learned this the hard way. How? I was trying this kind of training and every body part I possibly can. I tried this with my legs, it worked great. I tried this with my back, it worked great. I tried to do that with my shoulders, didn't work so good. I tried with my triceps and it worked great. I tried with my chest, it worked great. when I tried my biceps, I had almost a torn tendon because of this. And it took me like 4 months to start feeling better. So trust me in this one, go slowly, try, and if you feel pain, then just stop. It's the best way to know. Also, as any type of training and any type of routine, you're not going to be able to see changes fast. Everything takes time. I've been doing this for about a year, almost a year and a half, and within that year, I noticed the first changes in the first like 6 months. After 6 months, I started noticing a good growth on my calves, on my quads, on my back. It's starting to not get bigger, but I was noticing a better shape. My muscles were starting to have better insertions. I started to look at them and say, okay, this looks more aesthetic. Instead of looking thick, it looks aesthetic. So that's the result I was looking for. This type of training is also beneficial for you to understand which body parts of you are not as strong as you thought they were. Because you're gonna do, for example, you're gonna go for high reps and you'll say, but yeah, I'm big, I'm strong. And when you start going further than 30 reps, you're gonna wanna die because it's gonna burn like hell. And you'll be just using a very, very, very light weight, and you'll feel like a sissy. And it's normal, it's okay, it's part of it. And you have to embrace it, and you have to get used to it, and it's gonna work eventually. But then again, remember the difference between burning and pain. And one more thing, this type of training is going to change the way that you feel your body, the way you perceive your muscles and your fibers. You're gonna feel a lot more than you used to feel. And it's a great way to get a better knowledge of how you work. So then again, guys, that's all I have for today. Please take care. If you have any comments or questions or doubts, please leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, punch the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.